The House of Gonzaga is an Italian nobility family who ruled Lombardy, Italy between 1300 and 1700. The family includes Jesuits, saints, cardinals, and bishops, and in more modern times, descendants became empresses of the Holy Roman Empire, and Marie Louise Gonzaga became the Queen of Poland. The House of Gonzaga was the inspiration for Shakespeare's Hamlet, which was about murder and revenge. Gonzaga University, a private Jesuit college in Spokane, Washington, was named after the House of Gonzaga's Aloysius Gonzaga, who was a Jesuit saint. Gonzaga College in Dublin, Ireland, is another Jesuit school for boys named after the same guy. The House of Gonzaga intermarried with the House of Valenti and the House of Savoy, and through joint cooperation with the House of Pasi, they have become the modern Venetian Mafia. You could argue that the Venetian Mafia are one of the top managers of Hollywood, as their presence is obvious through their high-profile marriages. Jessica Chastain married Gianluca Pasi de Prepasulo, a Venetian from Venice. The city of Venice worships Venus, hence they sound very similar. They also share a relationship to the sea, as Venus and Venice were born of the sea. This painting is called The Birth of Venus and depicts an orange-haired woman being birthed from a seashell out of the sea. Jessica Chastain was named Venice's Vicar of Charis, which means grace, which is the title from The Cult of Venus. Olivia Wilde was once married to Italian noble Tau Rispoli. Countess Vera and Viola Arrivabene Valente Gonzaga are allegedly the secret managers of Kylie and Kendall Jenner's careers, and where the Kardashians get much of their fashion inspiration. The Arrivabene Valente Gonzaga family are still around today, and they own the Palazzo Papadopoli Palace in Venice. They own fashion lines in honor of their Venetian roots. This family has a history of military careers and Italian government roles that favor fascism. The current head of the house is Count Ghiberto, and he married Princess Bianca from the House of Savoy. They look gender inverted. Princess Bianca's parents were Princess Claude of Orleans and Prince Amadeo, and they were cousins. Royal intermarriage is the practice of monarch members marrying into other ruling dynasties, and it is still practiced today, despite the harm caused by inbreeding. The infamous Habsburg jaw is one result of this interbreeding. This family currently resides in Aman Venice Hotel and occupies the top floor. This is the same hotel where George Clooney and Amal hosted their wedding in 2016. Which would make sense because Clooney is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and has close ties to Venice, politicians, and other global leaders. The black nobility bloodlines have deep connections to Hollywood and through marriages. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were married at the black nobility Odescalchi Castle. Actress Sophie Winkleman married Prince Frederick Windsor. Prince Harry married actress Meghan Markle. Brooke Shields is a descendant of the House of Torlonia of Rome. Don Lorenzo Borghese, black nobility, was on The Bachelor. Zsa Zsa Gabor married Prince Frederick of Anhalt, who was also allegedly the true father of Anna Nicole Smith's daughter, Danny Lynn. Grace Kelly was famous for marrying Prince Rainier of Monaco. Prince Mario Max of Schaumburg-Lippe, German nobility, works in Hollywood. And many numerous Real Housewives are connected to the black nobility through marriages or bloodline. Nicolas Cage, Sofia, and Francis Coppola all descend from the noble Coppola family of Naples, Italy, not to mention all of the Hollywood elites who have been knighted. And there are many, many more. John Lennon, who turned down the offer of knighthood, was later murdered. Some of the black nobility families and mafias have migrated to the United States, and Washington state is prominent with shady dealings, corruption, and tremendous wealth. Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos have mansions in Medina, Washington, a suburb of Seattle, and they have both donated millions to Catholic charities through Gonzaga Jesuit School. It is alleged that the House of Visconti are part owners of the Seattle crime family that oversee Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. Together, Gates and Bezos are worth over $200 billion. Miley Cyrus tattooed the House of Visconti coat of arms on her forearm. It depicts a serpent eating a man. Bill Gates' surname derives from England, but we will get back to him in a minute. Now a little history about the United States. The United States, under U.S. Code 3002, Section 15, is defined as a federal corporation. The 14th Amendment explains that anyone born in the United States are basically owned by the United States. Before the United States was named the United States of America in 1776, it was called the Virginia Company. The Virginia Company was issued by the British royal family from the City of London Corporation for North American settlements. In 1215, King John issued the Magna Carta, which basically is a list of freedoms and what the United States Constitution is based on. The Magna Carta officially established the 1-mile square block that is now the City of London Corporation. This 1 square block is a sovereign entity from England and London. The Vatican and Washington, D.C. are the same deal. They are sovereign entities that are controlled by the black nobility to this day. Washington, D.C. was originally named Rome. If you look at the architecture in Washington, D.C., you can see that buildings mimic those built by the Jesuits and the black nobility. The coat of arms of Bermuda depicts a red lion and a depiction of a wrecked ship. The red lion is a symbol of Great Britain and alludes to Bermuda's relationship with Britain. The motto on the coat of arms, written in Latin, means, "Whither the fates carry us." This coat of arms has been around since 1624. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is in an area in the Atlantic Ocean where numerous ships and aircraft have mysteriously disappeared over the centuries. I find it very strange the Bermuda coat of arms depicts a wrecked ship. I find it even stranger that the idea for me to look into the Bermuda coat of arms came to me in a dream. The wrecked ship on the Bermuda coat of arms actually has a name, and it is called the Sea Venture of 1609. The Sea Venture was a 7th century sailing ship which was on a mission to save the Jamestown colony, which is now Virginia. In what seems to be another bizarre circumstance, everyone aboard the ship survived, minus the ship. Hence the ship never made it to Jamestown. But who was on board that ship? None other than Thomas Gates, the 7th great-grandfather of Bill Gates. What a strange coincidence. The area where the survivors of the Sea Venture landed was named Gates Bay after Thomas Gates, on the island of Bermuda. Thomas Gates eventually landed in Jamestown, Virginia, and between the years of 1610 and 13, Gates became the governor, was responsible for sending Pocahontas away to the city of Henricus, and kept her hostage away from her own father, and led an armed force against the Powhatans, defeated them and killed many. After all was said and done, Thomas Gates was considered a hero by the Virginia Company and was rewarded by the Queen and was knighted. Bill Gates was also knighted by the Queen in 2005. Many scholars believe that Shakespeare's play, The Tempest, was inspired by Thomas Gates' stories. What I find strange is the connection to Shakespeare and all these black nobility families, and their destructive and murderous ways to demolish an old world for a new world. The only thing I hope for is that history will not be rewritten to make Bill Gates a national hero. because he is anything but. Bill Gates and his father, Bill Sr., had several meetings with the Rockefellers, who initially financially backed the Gates family in their philanthropic pursuits. Bill Gates has been quoted saying that David Rockefeller and George Soros were major influences on his life. Bill Gates currently has major investments in the auto industry, think tanks, railways, entertainment, satellites, aviation, pharmaceuticals, water and energy technologies, healthcare, social networking, and nuclear power. He is now the top private owner of farmland in the United States, with land holdings totaling 242,000 acres across 19 states. Not to mention, he had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who was a member of the Trilateral Commission, which was founded by the Rockefeller family. Epstein, Gates, and Boris Nikolic, the founder of CRISPR, have much interest in eugenics, genetics, and depopulation. And after all, Bill Gates' father was the chairman for the Planned Parenthood, which was birthed out of the American Eugenics Society. The Rockefeller family can be traced back to the town of Neuwied, which is a town in Germany, more specifically in the area of the Rhineland-Palatine, where the House of Hesse rules. Gotthard Rockefeller, the paternal ancestor of John D. Rockefeller, was recorded living there in 1590. The first Rockefeller to emigrate to the United States was Johann Peter Rockefeller in 1723 and changed the family name to Rockefeller. The House of Hesse are a military bloodline of the Holy Roman Empire, closely allied with the House of Habsburg and the British Crown. If we go back in history, the Rodham and Epstein families were also nobles under the House of Hesse. Do you think this is a coincidence that Jeffrey Epstein and Hillary Clinton became major players on the world stage? The Rockefellers are managed by the House of Hesse, and the Rockefellers manage Jay-Z, who co-owns the almighty Vicelord Nation with them. His company, Rockefeller Records, pays homage to his owners. And let's not forget Kanye asked Jay-Z to not send his people to kill him. And after all, it was William I, Elector of Hesse, who hired Mayor Amschel Rothschild in 1769 to manage his estate, taxes, and finances. And to this day, the Clintons have been very close friends with the Rothschild family. They are all friends. Prince Donatus of Hesse has been rumored to be having an affair with Kate Middleton, which is humiliating to Prince William. Kate has secretly expressed her hatred for his baldness. It has been written that the House of Hesse took their name from Hestia, the Greek goddess and firstborn child of Cronus and Rhea. Hestia also is depicted with red hair, like Venus. The cult of Hestia is an ancient cult that is allegedly around today, and Hestia is viewed as a senior goddess and receives sacrifices in all the temples of the gods. Mafalda von Hessen, who looks identical to Diane Sawyer, is the current leader of the cult of Hestia and is also a fashion designer who worked for Giorgio Armani. Mafalda is a member of the House of Savoy and is related to Princess Bianca from the House of Savoy. Remember her? And just like the House of Gonzaga, the House of Hesse owns castles and grand hotels in Germany. And let's meet Hermann Hesse, a descendant of the House of Hesse, who is known as the Bill Gates of Africa. Hermann Hesse attended the Black Nobility University of Oxford and Harvard and the Jesuit Wharton School in Pennsylvania. They have their agents everywhere. I will leave you with that to do your own critical thinking. Until then, stay safe out there and don't stop questioning the world around you.